Hi,
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well. What about yourself?
Doing fine, thanks.
So, what have you been up to?
Normal, just regular stuff here. Working here on the land and doing what I had to do. A lot of rain recently. How about you?
So far, so good.
Okay, cool.
Can you tell me your name again, please?
Yeah, it's Alex.
Where are you from, Alex?
Well, my name is Alex. I'm originally from New York City, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and then we moved to Queens when I was about 14. Awesome place, man. Just I loved it, but eventually moved away.
Queens in New York City, right?
Yes, yeah. So Brooklyn and Queens are in New York City, and they're two of the five boroughs. So in New York City, you have Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Staten Island.
So, can you tell me what's the weather looks like there on New York City?
Oh man, right now at this time, I don't know exactly, but I know December, January, this type of time, it's usually very cold. Normally, it's like some of the coldest time during the season, the winter season, and normally people are bundled up. It's so cold that normally when we hit, I think it's 32 degrees, which is freezing Fahrenheit, 0 Celsius. You get people walking around without jackets. When it goes
Whoa.
up to 50, yeah, or 50 Fahrenheit, that would be 10 Celsius. People are walking around in shorts. So New York is crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah, New Yorkers.
Is it extremely expensive as they said?
Honestly, yeah, it's very expensive. At one point, I actually moved to New Jersey because it was cheaper to actually live outside of New York and commute in. I was working in Queens, and I would go through 42nd Street every day. So I'd take a bus from New Jersey through the Lincoln Tunnel, and it would leave me at 42nd Street Times Square, and I would take a train, actually two trains, from there to work. Um, but I mean, sometimes it's worth it, although your commute is very long. But I dealt with it.
Let me ask you something. What is like the best salary you can get in New York City to live like a healthy life and a good life?
Well, really, you're hoping anything over 100,000. If you're getting under that, it's gonna be kind of tough, especially living in New York City. And going back to your question about how expensive New York City is, I know at one point I had spoken to somebody who was still there. I think they were paying something like 3,000 on like a two-bedroom apartment. It all really depends where you live as well. If you're in Manhattan, you're looking at more. If you're living at one of the outer boroughs in Queens or Brooklyn or the Bronx, Staten Island as well, it gets cheaper. You have to keep in mind though, Staten Island, you're looking at a ferry, so you have to take a boat from Staten Island into Manhattan or anywhere else you have to go. All the other ones, you could take a bridge or a tunnel. So it's not so bad. But the further you get from the actual city center, which is Manhattan, the cheaper it gets. But it's a longer train ride. So really, anything over 100,000. I know at the last point when I was living there, I was making 50,000, and like I said, living in New Jersey, it was still a tight budget. Um, and eventually we left. Only when we had left New York and then New Jersey were we able to buy something. We actually moved down to Charlotte in North Carolina.
Uh, uh, Let me ask something. I'm just wanted to ask you about
Yeah.
is different living in New York City than other cities? Like
Mhm.
there's someone live in New York City and other one live in like I forget about the name. Maybe mm,
Like New Jersey or Alabama or like how
Alabama,
far?
Alabama.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, huge difference. I mean, New York City is like we say, man. It's the center of the world. you can find just about anything you want. You know, if you're Middle Eastern, if you're Asian, if you're Latino, I mean, you could find pretty much any food you want. You know, any people that you want to be close to. Italian. I mean, New York City has everything. If you move away, places like Alabama, you're not going to be guaranteed, you know, the same ease of products or foods. Like I said, I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, which is really it's only about 12 hours away from New York going south. And you know, there was a lot of things that were missing there from what I had in New York. You know, you didn't have the diversity of people as much or diversity of foods. It was nice. Things were newer, but I still miss, like, you know, the pizzerias and the Chinese food. So it depends what you want.
How big is New York City?
Man, New York City is huge. It's amazingly huge. I mean, you know, if somebody's going to go and visit, you want to take at least a week to see everything you want to see. You know, although certain places like Times Square, 42nd Street, Central Park, the Statue of Liberty, you know, certain things are closer, and then other things you have to travel a little bit further. But even like that, if you want to go out and see Brooklyn, see the Bronx, see the rest of Manhattan, you know, go up to Harlem, it's not really in walking distance. Although you could get like an easy pass for the train, pay like a weekly card is what they have. I don't know what the price is currently, but you could use that card and they have it unlimited. You could ride the train all day to get to wherever you want to. And what I would suggest is you take a day for each one of the boroughs. You know, if you really, really have your heart set on knowing the boroughs, take a day for each one at least, and then go and see it. Get an easy pass, Metro card, and you know, and really you'll want to give yourself actual destinations, you know, that you really want to see, because if not, you're looking probably 2 weeks to stay there. But there is a lot to do. Yeah, lots of museums, lots of ballparks to go to. Anybody who wants to watch, you know, either basketball games, football games, baseball games. So the only exception on that is I said football, but football you have to go into New Jersey to watch. So it's the next state over. Although they're the New York Giants and the New York Jets, you have to make your way into New Jersey to go and watch a game. Everything else, though, you know, you'll
So
go
in this way, it will take like 5 days for 5 boroughs.
at least. I mean, you know, I'm saying that because, you know, the way things are tight now, you know, I would say 5 days, 5 boroughs. But if you really want to make the most of your New York experience, I'd say 2 weeks. You know, you need time, and you better have a schedule. You better have, you know, everything planned, because if not, you'll spend more time at a certain place and then have to skip out on other things. So really, you know, see what your priorities are. Straight, make a list, and then look at a map, find out where everything is, and set it up. That would definitely be the best way to visit New York City.
What do you think is the most impressive place in New York City?
Oh man, that's an excellent question. You know, honestly, I don't know, but I would say for people nowadays would probably be Freedom Tower, which is where the Twin Towers, you know, were taken down. Freedom Tower is awesome to go visit. Like I said, man, just the Statue of Liberty. Although, you know, you have to see what the access is now, if they're even letting you get on the island. One in the winter definitely is Rockefeller Center, where you see, you know, that's the place where you see all the people in the movies ice skating, and you see that big gold statue in the back. That one is very, you know, it's a beautiful place to see in the winter. Although, as always, you have to bundle up. People don't take into account, hey, you know, you're standing outside, it's freezing weather, it's going to feel way colder than, you know, you being inside. But that whole area for Christmas, I mean, you know, I think for me, Christmas is New York, definitely. You know, I mean, it's beautiful, it's well lit. You know, the ornamentation is awesome, and you feel just, you know, like a real Christmas mood. You know, so I mean, really, it's all of
I
New York.
got you. I got you.
Yeah.
So our time is up.
All
Thank you
right.
for this good conversation. I hope you see
Yes,
you
sir.
again.
You got it. Take care. See you
Yeah,
next time.
take care.